Hey YouTube, it's me again, Brady Heemster here. And for today's video, I was thinking we could talk about weddings. How do you film a wedding video? How do you make it look good? Let's dig in. So just last week, I shot a wedding video for a good friend of mine, and I was actually really proud of how it turned out. And I thought I would end up sharing some tips and tricks that I've learned over the last few years shooting weddings that you can incorporate into your skill set as well. I'll be showing clips and whatnot of my previous wedding shoot, incorporating them into this video to try and back up what I'm talking about and show you some visual samples. So the first thing I want to talk about when you're creating a memorable and emotional wedding video is the location or the venue. Obviously, you have no control over the venue that's going to be chosen, but you can do your best to try and capture the essence of what that venue or location felt like during that day. So for an example, a good way of doing this is making sure you have a drone on hand with you. I got my Mavic Air 2 here. I flew it on that previous wedding. It kind of encapsulated the whole area, what the weather was, what everything felt like during that day. Because we're not trying to change the mood or the weather or the location to suit the narrative of the video. We're only trying to reflect what it was like that day, what the weather was like, and show it in as much detail as possible. Because these videos are for that happy couple to look back on in like 20 years and still remember it clearly. So yeah, a drone is a great way of establishing a location and mood for the intro of the video. The next thing that you should do with locations is shoot a lot of B-roll. Obviously, you want to be capturing most of the moments from the service and of the people, but don't forget to also capture the little intricacies of the location as well. If there's a sign or awesome decorations or anything, yeah, be sure to capture all of that in and incorporate that into the video. Once you have all your location shots, let's move forward and talk about how camera gear can help you capture an emotional moment. One thing I bought for weddings that I'm super happy with is this Tiffen 1/8 Pro Mist filter. Forgot the name of it there for a second, I had to double check, but yeah, Pro Mist is the name. What this filter essentially does, it creates a bloom effect with the lighting in the shot, and it allows light to wrap around the subject and kind of creates a nostalgic and emotional feeling. This was my first wedding shot with this filter, and I'm extremely impressed with how some of my shots ended up looking. Not sponsored by Tiffen or anything, but they make a great product. And if you're looking to create some sort of identity to the video and nostalgic feeling, definitely go with these filters. I have the 1/8, but if you want to amplify the effect more, you can go with a 1/4 filter. A 4K camera can also help you out a lot during your wedding shoots. I personally shoot with the Canon R6, and the reason for this being is weddings are a lot of run and gun. You're not planning out your shots, you're not compositing, right? So if you happen to be too wide, you're able to crop in on that specific moment, and I find that extremely helpful. This also helps with stabilizing footage that might be shaky. Really, anything that can go wrong can almost be fixed with shooting in 4K. Which also brings me to my next point. Try and shoot in at least 60 frames a second or higher. The reason for this being, there are a lot of special moments in weddings that go by in a flash. Sorry, I'm terrible at snapping today, I don't know why. If you're shooting at a high frame rate, you're able to stretch these moments out, and you're really able to get the intricacies of these moments. Slow motion can also be used to emphasize certain moments above others, or just make the footage look way smoother and nicer, and more cinematic. Now let's talk about the hardest part about shooting weddings, and that's being able to composite shots on the fly. Obviously, it's very hard to composite your shots while you're run and gun shooting. That's why it's important to have an itinerary with you and know when all these moments are gonna happen. Obviously, the itinerary is not gonna predict everything that happens, so it's up to you to be very acute and aware of when these moments are happening. Try and read into a moment as well, and try and find the deeper meaning or significance of that moment, and try and composite your shot to amplify that meaning. Now, for an example, in the last wedding that I shot, there was a moment when the bride and the groom and all the parents got together for prayer. I was able to get a nice low angle with my Tiffen filter lens. Having a low angle for prayer seemed a lot more appropriate than a higher angle. It was a moment that signified something greater than just the wedding itself. and I tried to capture that with that shot. There's another moment where the groom's mom is doing his hair. I tried to composite the shots to be more over-the-shoulder-esque that suggested more intimacy and importance between the mother and the son, and I was really happy with how it came out. If all else fails, try to capture multiple angles of every scenario or situation if you can. Obviously, not all these angles are gonna work, but if you're able to have multiple to choose from, then you're able to get the best one. If you wanna learn more about shot composition and what the significance of that is, then go ahead and comment down below that you want that video, and I'd be happy to make one. I'm gonna wish you good luck on your wedding shoot, and let me know how it goes, okay? See you guys.